I don't have a quote for this week.
Okay.
So just, we already started. Just insert bad joke here. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This.
Theme music.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the second week of...
A clone month.
Does this count?
This counts.
Cloning is a spectrum.
It is. I'm like, this could also be AI, but I feel it's more clone.
It's very... Get into like a philosophical aspect of it, right?
Right.
Oh man. But yeah, I was actually kind of surprised by your pick this week, and I was like, where do I watch that on? And I was like, oh, it's on Netflix. And man, I pay money for Netflix, and I really don't turn it on enough. All these subscriptions, right? They were supposed to like replace cable.
Right.
And now I have like 5 of them.
Yep.
And now I'm paying more than cable.
So I hate to say it. So like I really like Prime, and I have Prime because I order a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna have Prime anyway. So it's like, yay, good movies.
Yeah.
But they make it very easy to start and stop all the other channel subscriptions.
What do you mean?
Well, almost everything like Paramount, Peacock, AMC, Shudder, almost all of them, they'll give you like a free 7-day trial. So if you're just like, hey, there's 1 or 2 movies I want to see, you just like in, and then you go and cancel it before the 7 days. You're good. Golden. But it makes it really easy, like, because you can hit like subscriptions on your little Prime account, and it shows you all the ones you have, and you're like, oh, okay, I've already watched all of Yellowstone. I don't need Paramount anymore.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, whatever reason that you...
Yeah, because, Papa Bezos, he's like, I want you to stay here.
Exactly. And then it's like most of the channels, they'll be like, it's like, oh, Paramount, I don't want you anymore because I watched Yellowstone and I watched, King of Tulsa. So
yeah.
I don't need any more. And then you like cancel, and they're like, hey,
are you sure?
What if we just give you the next 3 months for 99 cents? And you're like, yeah, you know what? I could find another series or 2 that I watch for 99 cents.
Netflix doesn't care, though.
No, Netflix is like...
going to be like, you'll be back.
Yeah, and it'll be more when you come back.
Yeah. I know, right? I'm so mad I don't get
$2 extra to resubscribe.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like, they should have a grandfather clause. I started Netflix when it was like $8 a month, or maybe even lower.
Right.
So I was pretty surprised by this month's movie. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, let me do the rounds on Netflix and watch the things that have been on my watch list forever, and then I'll pay $100 for it for the year and not turn it on. So let's get into this one with the Bryan Fest trailer. Type A is close to humankind. Type B, sort of, but might be in a bind. Type C is the worst as it's public domain, and a bereaved scientist is gonna be forced to make a robot. That's what we call a delay, One that shares memories of her mom, who's now been gone. That's it. But this premise might seem to be a bit funky, Let's find out what's cooking in 2023's Jung-E.
Yep. Oh, you wrapped it up at the end
Just
there.
gotta
Yeah.
finish strong, Yeah, but we're gonna be talking about 2023's Korean sci-fi movie Jung-E, starring Kim Hyun Joo as the titular Jung-E, and the recent what's it called, the not very recently, because it was 3 years ago, but the recently passed believe her name is Kim. Sorry, let me look it up. Oh, Kang Soo-yeon, who is the main character of this movie. I know she didn't. She didn't. She just came back from like a 10-year hiatus, and she didn't even get to watch this movie get released.
Right. Yep.
Unfortunately.
This is unfortunately her last movie.
But the movie opens up like really strong. The movie opens up with the legendary space mercenary. Okay, what was her name? I gotta keep all these tabs open. Well, it doesn't say her real name, but it just says her AI name, which I mean, like, gets revealed it's AI like in 5 minutes, so it's not really a spoiler. But it is Jung-E, and she's like fighting all these robots, and we all was like, oh man, this is like kind of like iRobot. No, well, before you knew she was a robot.
Right. Right. I think her name was Jung Soo Hyun,
See.
and then they just called her Jung E as the AI.
Yeah, but like she's it almost looks like a Terminator situation, right?
Right. Right.
But she's like, yeah, she's like Sarah Connoring this whole situation, and like she's pretty tricky. There's like this RoboCop like dog. I forgot what the RoboCop his first.
Ed 209.
Yeah, and but as she's about to take it down, she's like set a trap for it. I mean, she tried to set it on fire, but it had an extinguishing system,
Yep.
which I was like, oh man, that's butt, dude. But she sets up like a little mouse trap for it, gets it trapped under all these like beams.
Right. Because her compadre
On her comms.
on her comms is like the battery pack is in the rear. So if you can get around behind it, you can
Explode.
disable it. Yeah.
But before she before she takes it out, she gets a little figurine catches her eye,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes her hesitate for a second. Which on the battlefield, you guys know, any type of hesitation is death, right?
Right. Right.
She gets clipped, and then she gets surrounded by a bunch of like RoboCops.
Right.
And then her finger gets cut off, and she freaks out. But then she sees that her finger is robotic,
Yes.
and it kind of makes her freeze. And she freaks out, and then we all learn it's just like a little Danger Room X-Men situation.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get introduced to Soo-hyun, who is played by the late Kang. I don't want to just be like Kang. Kang Soo-yeon. Yeah, and they're just like talking about like, oh man, she was like this legendary mercenary. I mean, she's not perfect right now, but like, look how many robots she took down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because we find out this is a simulation of her last battle, and she was the mercenary elite that they're trying to clone because there's a civil war going on between Earth and a number of the colonized space stations.
Yeah, I was like, it's just the new American Revolution, right?
Uh, right. Yeah.
Because but they're like, yo, we keep running this simulation, and she just can't seem to get past this one point. And like, we learned that like this is like her final battle.
Yeah.
Where
That they felt like this was the war, or this was the battle that could have won the war
Yeah,
if she completed it.
yeah, and unfortunately, she didn't. And so they're trying to like, but she's still like, she was still like, like, what is it called? They called her like a war idol.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they've been trying to replicate it because this company, I think their name is like Coronoid or something like that. Um, they have been tasked to create like combat AI, and so it's a very cold looking world, and we do get to meet God, what was her, Kang Hoon or something, Kang Sun Kang. I forgot the other guy's name, but he's like the director. And he seems like sort of like a wild kid, like a wild child kind of director.
Right. Like sometimes he's real serious, sometimes he's like super goofy trying to make jokes.
Yeah, like just terrible dad jokes. But
Yeah.
it's like the year 2157, and the state of the world is kind of like half, half like half like messed up, and then half okay.
Right, right. Yeah. And we get like a little like there's a like an interesting kind of like explanation dump because they have some generals that are coming in because they want to try to explain how their progress is going in mapping
The
the
human
brain,
brain.
the human brain of this past soldier, so they could make this, so they could mechanically clone her into a super soldier going forward. But like that Sang-hoon is so proud that he's made this like almost like a little documentary explaining how they get there. And so they kind of go through it a little bit, and then the generals are like, yeah, that happened 40 years ago. We all know that. So let's fast forward.
Yeah, just give me the stats.
But
I
yeah,
don't.
it's the Earth is kind of falling apart. And so they've created a bunch of space stations, and they're moving a lot of humanity out into these space stations, and 3 of the 12 space stations basically declare their independence from Earth.
Right, you give people
And
an inch, they forget the roots.
right. And so then
Yeah,
like I said, there's like this Korean American revolution. Um, uh,
something.
yeah, the space revolution against Earth so that they can be their own free people.
Yeah. And like it's funny enough because like this movie, it has the politics, but it doesn't delve super deep into it. They're like,
Right.
here it is, here's the situation, but really we really want to focus on this AI situation, right?
Yeah.
And so like yeah, so and she ends up like she ends up having to go home for the night, but they're like, oh hey, make sure to take your like what ethics test or something like that.
Right. Yep.
And it's like asking the questions that you would get like on a freaking personality thing on interviews on like resume or
Yeah.
applications.
Very unusual.
You're like, oh,
Have you have you ever written a poem
have you while looking at a
looking at the
sunset?
sunset? Yeah. Have you ever bought a piece of art you didn't think you could afford?
Yeah,
Um,
it's like stuff like that, and it's like it's to make sure a person is a person and not an AI.
yes.
Which I was like, hey, if this is like a world where you can clone people's like consciousness and like brains, I was like, I'm pretty sure you could fool like another AI, right? It's like what do they call it? Like a Turing test.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, and so like the next day, like yeah, Sang-hoon is like, nah, we got to run this again. And so
Does she see the doctor at that point?
oh no, not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet. Well, like, okay, so like before they get rid of Junk East 17, which I was like, oh,
Yeah.
funny number, Mickey 17.
That's right.
Oh my God, they turn her on and she's like, her body is like, it's gone. It's just like the head and the torso, and
Right.
she's like freaking out. I mean, rightfully
Because
so,
it is a direct pull from the brain. So she thinks that this is minutes after or hours after she just got captured or
Yeah, or yeah, just a
or whatever
POW, right?
by the enemies. Yeah, and now she's waking up and 75% of her body is missing.
And they're like, no, like just get rid of it, you know, because like they want to do like an exit interview basically. Like, so
Right.
how's your experience work? And so
Yeah,
like,
because they're trying to like figure out what they can do to make her just slightly better so that in the next run
she can get past it.
she can, yeah.
Yeah, but like it's also like, you know, the whole time they're mapping her brain activity, and so like, so when they want to run it again on 18, Sang Hoon is like, oh yeah, shoot her in the leg. You know, like, you know, we can't keep running the same simulation, hoping for a different outcome. You know, that's the definition of madness.
Right. Right.
And so they do. They end up shooting her, and this is pretty hard because I feel like between this time and like during like little West Wing walk and talks, we find out that Jung-hee is actually a clone of So-hyun's mom.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a couple of people that have been working there. Like, oh yeah, I transferred here because, like, I heard you're like working on this model, and like your mom was like my idol because you know she was like a war hero.
Yeah, and most people know her as the war hero, but yeah, her daughter's like, no, I know that we were poor and she was running these missions basically as a mercenary to make money because I had a tumor on my lung
Yeah,
and she was trying to pay for the surgeries and stuff I needed.
it's the only way, and like this, yeah, I think after like this second run, right, where they do the mapping of like when she shoots the leg, and like it's a totally different scenario, and the little Terminators, they look like they're about to kill her, and she like they see like on the little chart of like their tablets is like, oh, her will to fight is like going lower and lower and lower until an unidentified or unmapped portion of her brain lights up.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, wait, hold on. She's about to, oh, yeah. And so, like, you know, she kind of turns the tide until she gets, like, headshotted from something.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Sang Hoon, like, totally, he wants to hyper focus on this because he's like, this is a new breakthrough.
Right. We've done 17. We've never gotten this portion of the brain
To light up.
activating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's being the goofball. He's like, yeah, we'll make this portion green because, you know, this is the part that we want a green light,
Yeah.
you know, and we'll make her pain sensors red, but not red. We want to make it strawberry red. You know?
And, like, the guy he's talking to, he's like mumbling under his breath. He's like, this guy's a fucking idiot, dude.
Right.
And so now they're like hyped though. They're like super hyped about this whole situation going on, and like Sanghoon's like, okay, we'll talk to the directors again. This is a new breakthrough, and we can extend our funding. But meanwhile, like during a walk and talk with like the fan of like her mom, he was like, you know, she that's when she divulged like, oh, you know, my mom was a mercenary because she needed to pay for my medical bills. She also divulges like, oh, you know, like sometimes I wonder if I wasn't alive, if my mom, like, if I wonder if my mom resented having to take care of me because she couldn't live her life.
Right.
And he was like, why don't you ask her?
Yeah, we do these exit interviews. You could ask her something personal since after the interview, we basically burn the brain.
And so she kind of contemplates this. She thinks about it, and she's like, "Oh, maybe." But like, you know, they have to get ready for like this meeting again with the director.
Yeah.
And when they get there, a woman comes and she's like laughing at Sang Hoon. She's like, "Oh, you suck." Basically, just like really shitting on this guy. She's like, I'm the director of product management and all this blah blah blah, and he's like, what do you product management, we're a part of the combat AI division. She's like, oh, you'll soon find out, tra la la.
Right. And he's like, why are we talking to you? You build robots for like maids,
Yeah.
you know?
you know, for
House
like,
cleaning is I'm like war and combat specialty.
yeah. So like, they end up not doing the meeting because the director wasn't there, and Sang Hoon, super prideful. He's like, I'm not going to present to her. You don't fucking matter, you know. And so
Right.
when they get back to the company, like somebody's like, oh hey, the director is here to see the both of you. And they stop by like the production floor, and he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be the new combat heads, right? Sick. I'm gonna bring it, show to the director." And they're doing like, there's a bunch of West Wing walk and talks in here, right? But when they get into the room, all of a sudden he freezes.
Yeah.
His eyes do that little twitching thing, and you're like, "Oh, what?" That was like a pretty good surprise. It's like, "Oh, he's a robot."
Right. Right.
And we find out that the director is talking to Soyeon, and she's like, "Hey, listen, we actually, the Civil War, we reached an agreement, so we're
Right. We,
gonna,
we we got a ceasefire. We got a treaty going on. We don't think we're gonna need any
yeah."
advancements in military.
And like the data that you have on the brain mapping is pretty good enough to start to implement onto like household AIs and maids and stuff. So just go ahead and wrap this shit up.
Right. You've got like, basically you've got one more body built.
Yeah.
So run your final tests, and then in 48 hours we'll move you over to product development, and you'll
And
start working on implementing this into
yeah, and like
more
household stuff,
yeah, more
lucrative.
personal.
Yeah, Well, he did like he always just says like like household items,
Right,
uh,
right.
and he tells like a shitty dad joke, and she's like not really, she's not really there. It's like you always have to humor the boss.
Right.
But he's like, oh, let me talk to Sang Hoon because he's gonna freak out, but we're the same person. And like this is kind of like the most philosophical portion of it because he's like, I thought I was gonna die, but I didn't. But when I thought I was gonna die, I made a copy of my brain so that way I could live forever. But then like watching this version of me, it's just like it's not me.
Right. Yeah.
This is I was like, it's funny though because it's like, well, you can't really critique yourself because you want to like the older you are, the dumber you see how you used to be. You're like, that's not me.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you could talk to like like the version of you that used to only drink soda, you're like, hey, kidney stones and stuff. He's like, oh, dude, I'll fucking live forever, bro. Soda and cheese.
Maybe you want to just an occasional vegetable.
Yeah, gallon, maybe like like 40 ounces of water a day, and then drink soda. I don't, we gotta clear out the kidneys. Yeah, and so like kind of just like, but he talks about how like yeah, this is me, but it isn't.
Right.
So
Right.
don't get so attached to like the versions of your mom that you see around because like like in a flashback we see that like yeah, like she does. I feel like in between this whole time she goes to the doctor and they find out that she gets the tumors again,
Right.
which piss
Yeah.
her off even more because she's like, well, damn, like I'm gonna die anyway.
Right. I mean, it is 40 years or
I know, right?
something like that, but yeah, it's like yeah, my mom went to war to save me, and now the tumors are back. I'm gonna die anyway.
Yeah. And like, like, once she goes to the doctor, he's like, "Hey, yeah, you got some tumor." I was like, "Man, okay, we can clone shit, but we can't get rid of tumors yet." Jeez, come on, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And they do like we kind of quickly mentioned it like early, but like they give a breakdown where it's basically like if you're rich, that clone your brain, put it in a young, fresh robot body
Type
and
A,
type A, and you're basically just
a human.
you're a human.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
full. Yeah, because I was about to get into that. It's like type, because then they're talking. It's like, yeah, you should clone yourself. Type A, you get full human rights.
Right. You can
Great.
you can marry, you can reproduce.
Yeah. Oh, did he say that?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's even more insane that we can't get rid of tumors, but we can have a robot make babies. uh, Are you telling me you can't just replace my lungs? Like, I want to. Come on, Steve Austin did it in the 70s.
I guess maybe it's all mechanical, so you can
Nah, there's no way you're not telling me that they can't bioengineer me a new pair of lungs.
yeah, right.
Yeah, but he's like type B. You sort of have human rights.
Right. You can't get married.
Yeah,
The company still owns like the the ability to like they get to track your data.
yeah. And like yeah, it's a limited capacity, but they can still like dig into you.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
they can't mass produce you like type C.
Right. And
Type
type B
C
is
public
the company.
domain.
Yeah. The company owns you. They can do whatever they want with the information that's in your brain.
Yeah, so if they want to, if you're like a nice piece of ass when you're like in your 20s, it's gonna be a bunch of you, you know.
Right. Yep.
Though well, yeah, it's just crazy, and so like that's unfortunately that's what her mom was. Type
Right.
C.
Because she had spent all her money on the daughter's surgeries, so she didn't have the money to do anything better.
Yeah, and so now like Sonya's just like tripping out because she's like, like they do one more final test, but it kind of just ends the same way. Sanghun, well, what's it called? Hold on. Before that, sorry. Um, they get an order to like just start to upload or like just to start to transfer all the data. But
Right.
then Sohyun sees that somebody had exported a version of her mom. And she's mad because it's the person that was like, oh, I was such a fan of your mom. And I was
Right.
like, I know where this is going. So she goes over to his quarters and you hear like stripper music going on. And I was like, and then like she's like, there's a little window into his like quarters. And
Oh yeah.
he's coming out of there, like putting his robe on. I was like, oh my God. I mean, like, I guess this is normal, right? And she makes her way in there and her mom is like in like a Middle Eastern like sort of belly dancer, but like no fabric anywhere. It's just like the jewels, and you see like her cheeks, and he's like, and like his whole quarters is like decked out with like her gear, her
Right.
paraphernalia.
Right. And yeah, and because she sold the rights to herself, they've made action figures and posters and documentaries and stuff about her. A ton of stuff to make money. That's how you basically you pay for her.
And yeah, and he kind of just tells her like, "Hey, that's what you guys signed up for, like the bereaved signed off on this."
Yeah.
And like, she's obviously heartbroken. She leaves, and I'm pretty sure he proceeds to do what he was intending to do because like the company was like, "Yeah, try her out. She's gonna be a household item,"
Right. Right.
which means sex bot. Which I gotta say, the way that like AI is going, it's getting closer. Like maybe not like a robot, but like there's all those deep fakes
Yeah.
that are just getting better and better. And I was like, this is getting crazy. It's gonna suck to be a famous person in a little bit, Well, like a famous female
Some country
celebrity.
just
Ban that shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
passed that like you can't do that without their express permission.
Yeah, that's not gonna stop the internet.
True.
You
True.
know what I mean? But yeah, no, and so like before they run their last test, she whispers into the robot's ear like, "Hey, you're a fucking AI," uh, and
Right.
like kind of like just does a whole spiel on it, and so like she runs through the simulation again, and the portion where she's about to die, she kind of like sells it,
Right. Yeah.
right?
And she also has now taken that yellow portion and like you can see it like on her little pad. She can control like the amount of pain that
Yeah.
is being perceived through the mechanical brain.
Yeah.
So she dials back the that yellow portion that because she believes that that's the belief in
It's memories,
like
I think.
family memories.
Yeah,
And
or
so
just
that way
like
when
it's like that. It's that portion of the brain that makes you lift a car.
I right,
I
right,
think that's
right.
what it is, right?
Yeah, and so after she got shot in the leg,
Yeah,
and then in that simulation, the pain kind of takes over, and the will to fight kind of dies, and then all of a sudden, that little yellow part got bigger and bigger because she started thinking of,
yeah. Her
you know,
kids or her
her
kid.
kid. I have to make it home to
Yeah,
see my daughter because she's going into surgery.
yeah. And like before they run the simulation, she talks to like another like I think like the one that got her headshot, and she
Yeah,
asked her like she's like oh she asked her about her daughter and all that stuff, and then we find out why she always pauses on that one portion because her daughter before she had gotten her like surgery she gives her like a little figure and it's like a good luck charm, and she
right.
was like super upset. She was like when I landed I lost it and then I saw it and it kind of just like it made me freeze for a second. And but like I like if I could do if I could do it all if I have to do it all over again I'd still do the same thing for my kid.
Right. And then she was just like, hey, but I have to ask. I know she just because they don't understand the time period
Yeah.
because she's like, I know my daughter just, the other day went into surgery. Can you at least tell me, did she survive? Were they able to remove the tumor?
Yeah, because like oh yeah, because they're like, she was kind of playing it out. Like the daughter was playing it out, like yeah, we rescued you, but you're gonna die soon.
Right, right. Because how do you say, oh yeah, it's 40 years later, I'm your grown daughter.
She really couldn't. So yeah, so like when they run this last simulation, because yeah, she fakes it. Sang Hoon sees it. He's like super distraught, but he sees it. He's like, wait, hold on, run that back. And then like he sees it and he's like, oh, sound the alarms, and then we get like a full iRobot end scene
Right, yeah.
where like she's fighting all these robots. She goes into a room where there's a whole bunch of her models in there. Kind of freaks her out, but she already knows that she's a robot.
Yeah.
But then she man, this is how you know she's legendary. She goes 3v1 against like these other combat AI.
Yeah, the police robots.
No, no, not the police robots. The robot, the other human-looking robots. The police robots are on their way.
Right, you're correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're able to kind of like when the police robots get there, her daughter's able to sneak her brain into one of the police robots like bodies because her original body like the arm got ripped off, and like yeah, and then we get like this full pretty cool chase scene. They get into like they get into like this like a train, but like classic. I don't. Doesn't make sense how he got into this car. But like classic villain shit. He's like, ah, ha, ha, ha.
right. I knew you were going to escape using this above ground subway
Yeah.
system.
I was like, how did he
So I
get
was
there?
waiting for you.
Yeah, and like it's a huge like chasing with the police, little police things going in there, and this is where Jung Yi finds out that the scientist that's helping her is actually her fully grown daughter
Yeah.
because she had minimized or at least try to erase a good amount of like that portion like or like probably her her reasoning of why she's doing everything she does.
Right. Because it was like, hey, there's not any way for robot mom to be my mom.
Yeah,
But if I can remove that so like there's not an attachment, I can at least let her go into the boondocks basically
yeah,
and she can live out some kind of life.
yeah, like like give my mom something, at least a version of her a life that she was
Right.
like she never got when she was alive, you
Right.
know.
And there'll be at least one version of my mom that is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
dirty housekeeper.
yeah, she pretty much like White Fangs her mom. Go
Yeah.
on, get out of here. But she like the daughter ends up getting shot, and like they have this huge fight scene. She's
And
able. So go ahead.
And it's also interesting in the fight scene, the Sang-hoon gets damaged,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's the first time he realizes that he is a robot.
that guy has to be a blow to the. He was already pretty unstable, but to
Uh,
learn that he was just a
right.
fucking robot sends him over the edge, right?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, they're able to fight. She's able to like kind of like throw him into like the bottom cart, and like that whole portion gets destroyed. The robot Jung E, she like holds her daughter, and her daughter's like, please, like leave me. Like, the cops are coming. You need to escape.
Right.
I want at least something of you to have a sense of freedom to not like worry about anything anymore and just to like live for yourself. Yeah,
Right.
because like the whole.
And
Go
oh,
ahead.
good.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and at this point, she know she knows she's going to die because
The
the doctor
tumors.
told her she's got the tumors back, and she has. You can tell that she has made the choice that level she can't afford A or B, and level C is just not something
Yeah,
that she's willing to
yeah, like
be put through.
yeah, like you don't want like an image of a version of I don't as a woman you wouldn't want that. I don't know. As a guy, I don't. I also don't think I would want that.
Right. And you don't even really think about that. Like you're like, oh, so there's gonna be a bunch of me as housekeepers. That sucks, but whatever. At least,
And there's gonna be one guy who's like, yeah, clean my pool. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, clean it.
yep.
They say there's somebody for everybody. I haven't found that yet, but okay. um, yeah, and so like like the Jung-in robot was like, she lays, her daughter's like she's already like stopped breathing, like her
Yeah.
hands like fall to the floor, very classic death scene. And yeah, and so she like she goes into the jungle or like the forest, and she stands over like this mountain range. I was like, okay, this part of Earth is like really nice.
Right.
It looks like a fantasy world right here. And the movie ends.
Right. But before she runs off,
Oh yeah.
she does the little cheek touch
Oh yeah.
with her,
Yeah.
and you. That's when you kind of get that. Oh, there's still a little bit of that heart left in her that she
Yeah.
realizes, even if she doesn't really know, because in the early, right before her daughter was going to go get surgery, she's like, oh, cheek touch, boop, and they do like a little cheek touch. It's kind of like their little.
I love you 3000. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think she like I don't know if she want to say erased it. I don't
She
know. Who knows?
she muted it a little.
Yeah. Yeah. She
Um,
like turned it all the way down.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you could at that point you realize that there's still some left, and then as cheek touch, and I'm watching this with Teresa, and then it's like tears.
Yeah, but the movie ends right after that.
Yeah.
Before we get into our thoughts about this movie, let's go into our other section: high star, low star. Colby.
Boom. We got a 10 out of 10. Incredible movie. The robotics are out of this world. For a Korean movie, which I watched dubbed, was well written and had characters that you care about and an excellent story and plot. This also gives you a hint of a possible sequel as well. The action sequences are very well done. The idea of and complexity of it is amazing and well planned out. Great twists at the end too. It's nice to know that one doesn't have to have Hollywood to still get a great movie. Kind of glad this wasn't done in Hollywood or by Disney or another questionable studio with an agenda or a narrative. Just plain good sci-fi. No sex, no nudity, no foul language, no questionable content whatsoever. A few graphic scenes may be a bit much for the young kids, but other than that, great family action sci-fi. And the effects were Blade Runner good.
And then we have a 1 out of 10. The trailer looked great. Kim Hyun-joo was great as Jung-E. Some of the effects were nice, but honestly, it was the script and performance that was a letdown. It tried too hard, and whilst I'm not against slow moving sci fi, this felt kind of dull. Watch Space Sweepers instead if you want a good Korean sci-fi. I gotta say, I want to hear your thoughts first.
I really enjoyed it. I thought I really didn't know what to expect. I mean, like obviously, like I didn't really watch a trailer. I just kind of saw a couple pictures. I read a little thing about the cloning of the brains, and so I was like, oh, clone, yeah, there we go. It's still a clone if it's if it's you're cloning the idea, like the
The
whole
essence of a
the
person.
essence of a person. Yeah, right. Put him into a plastic body. Doesn't have to be a human flesh body. But yeah. So not knowing much, I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, it started off, had a great action scene at the beginning that really hooks you, had a good kind of well thought through story, and then definitely had a banger ending that great climax to the movie.
Oh man, I liked portions of this movie. The only thing is, it felt incomplete to me.
Hmm.
Because it's like, yeah, it has a little bit of like Alien in there with like the android Soo-hyun like director. Yeah, it felt like the one thing I kind of was like there was never any resolution to like the CEO, right? I mean, the CEO wasn't like he wasn't anywhere overtly evil, I would say.
Right.
And it's really the system that's pretty broken that's like giving leeway to use people as like products with the type C. S- Obviously he's not as evil as like Wayland Utani, who's trying to who's trying to
Right.
what's it called, weaponize an organic being as like the xenomorphs are. But like, yeah, just a portion of it felt sort of like I left, or what's it called, I stopped watching the movie, not stopped watching the movie, but like I left watching the movie kind of wanting a little bit more. Like the movie is pretty short. It's like an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why maybe like 15 minutes of something to kind of like fill it out. Just fill out the rest of the movie. And it's just like, yeah, I like the storyline with the daughter and how like why she got into this work. She was like, well, my mom's likeness is gonna be out there. Let me get ahead of it and make sure they don't use her for anything. I mean, yeah, they'll use her for combat, but my mom, legendary mercenary, space mercenary.
Right. Right.
And I think the thing that broke her was like, oh, they're gonna use her as a sex toy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, well, that coupled with the fact that she was gonna die in 3 months, which again I have huge issues with. I was like, you guys can't get rid of tumors. Come on, we we could put fucking people in space. Like we could have a space colony, and we still have cancer. Even in Matt Damon's Elysium, they were able to create like that little pod that got rid of all diseases. I was like, I don't like this at all. But I do like her choice of not copying her brain.
Right. Right.
You know, uh, and so like that's really
And
my issue.
weirdly, like they didn't ever show her mom's clone,
Hmm.
but they mentioned it because after she leaves the director, like she's like, is my mom here? Can I go see her?
Hmm.
And he's like, yeah, of course. So like there is a aging version of
Her mom.
her mom, but that's we it's not important enough to the story for us to ever meet that person. And I'm sure she's keeping the, hey, mom, we're using your brain also to develop
Yeah,
battle droids.
yeah, like they never, yeah, they didn't explain that. Like you saw like probably, it's probably the brain dead version of her,
Maybe.
and they, and it's just like, well, like, what are you guys doing with this? It's just let her die. Like we've already copied her brain. Let her just rest in peace.
Right.
Cause yeah, they have her hooked up to some sort of like pod system.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what is that the only way that you like? I'm pretty sure you guys have saved the data of my mom somewhere. So just keep using. See, that would have been a nice like little fill out. Is like if that's not the case, that they can't save the data, then maybe she should have went there, pulled the plug, let her mom pass, and then they wouldn't be able to constantly use her likeliness because you can't. Maybe you can't put all that into a system. I don't know. See like a little bit more like the only thing that's like kind of missing is just like the technical aspects of the thing, which
Right.
I feel like some people are like, oh, that kind of bogs down the movie when you get into like the super science stuff. But I don't think so.
But right, I don't think so either. You either have to like play the movie that like everything is possible, or explain the things that are and aren't.
Yeah,
Like I like you said, like it it they have so vast of things they can do, but then like they can't remove a tumor.
yeah.
They can't, yeah, so it's like why? Like there's got to be some kind of
Because pharmaceutical lobbyist Colby.
that could be it. I mean,
Yeah.
like
Because it's also like, we get sort of like small little glimpses of like the disparity between classes. When she's like going home, that at the beginning of the movie, you see like people just huddling around, like people giving out soup.
right,
And
yeah.
you're like, what's that about? I don't know. The movie's like, don't worry about it. It's just like, yeah, there's poor people there.
Right. And even if they made it as far as like Earth is pelted with radiation and everybody is slowly getting cancer, and hers is just much more progressive because she had it. It's a reoccurring tumor from when she was a kid,
Yeah.
and that's why because of the Earth radiation, they
Yeah, or like,
wouldn't be able to fix it again. Yeah, just some little.
yeah, like why is the Earth like this?
Right,
That's
right.
really all it needed. At first I was like, oh, there's fucking aliens. Right? There's fucking aliens here, right? That's why you guys need this combat AI, but then like you see all this like you see like what I'm guessing is Korea is like underwater. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's the polar caps started to really like
Melt and
melt and start to not shrink the Earth, but like cover more land. So
yeah.
yeah, it's just like there's just a lot of it's like a lot of little things missing to really fill out the rest of this movie.
Mm.
Which I think that's really the only downfall. Like the action was awesome.
Right, and I thought the special effects were great for
Yeah, the danger room is sick.
yeah.
Which I was like, oh, is that how VR? Like, man, people are gonna start buying houses that have like, oh yeah, this is a VR room right here.
Oh my god. Once that's a thing, it's gonna yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't know if I want that because then you gotta like exercise. But like by the time that's like there, me and you are gonna be like old.
That's true.
We're
Yeah.
gonna be like what's it called, like Danny Glover and the old guy from Dennis the Menace. Remember, I think they had that bucket list movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we'll have to go with the portion of the future where it's more like that movie Surrogate with Bruce Willis, where they like just kind of hook up to a
Yeah.
little pod, and then like they have a new fresh body that
Oh, that'd be
they
sick.
they get to pilot around.
I thought you were gonna be like, oh yeah, you just hook up and it'll be like Ready Player One. You get to play in a digital avatar version of yourself.
Or that
Yeah.
that is also that we would just everybody would just get fatter.
Well, like by that time, like me and you will be old.
Right, right.
So like we'll have an excuse. For young
Yeah.
people, it's like, oh, I don't know what you guys are doing. Like my avatar though would be like fat, but all my stats would be in speed. It'd be really funny. Like that would be just really funny for me. Like, because everyone will have a hot avatar, but you want that fat speedy one. You're like, all right, I could take this guy. No, you can't. I'm the Flash. Oh man, but what's it called? We're coming up to our hour, so I want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all of our other months down below, where we have a bunch of themes that range from holiday themes to actor and actresses themes. There's gonna be something there for you, right, guys?
That's absolutely. Oh, and then one other thing. The writer director, is also the guy who did Train to Busan.
Oh,
The
see, I could see.
this is,
I don't know. I don't know if they gave him enough time to really like build that relationship. Between like that. I think that could have also filled it out, like how, the relationship of like, oh, how she became a mercenary and why she was doing it, and then really build up that connection. Because in Train to Busan, like Gong Yu, like the main character, he's like a pretty despicable guy in the beginning.
right.
He's like hedge fund manager, ice cold demeanor, like forgetting his daughter's like birthday or just buying her the same, thinking, oh yeah, I could just buy her shit. And then
Maybe the two universes are connected, and that's why we started going to space, because we couldn't get rid of the zombies.
no, we can get they have the combat, they have the robot police. They should be able to get rid of zombies.
Well, yeah, but that's later on. Yeah, by then the polar ice caps have melted.
But like, yeah, like and then by the end of like Train to Busan, when he like sacrificed, it's like he got a whole like redemption arc,
Totally.
right?
It is really Train to Busan. We'll have to do that some point. I'm surprised we have not done a zombie month. But yeah, Train to Busan is probably one of my top pick zombie movies.
Yeah, everyone's seen Train to Busan.
That's true. That's true.
But we can still talk about it. But yeah, no, yeah. So like, I feel like he had a lot more time to really flesh out those characters, and in this one, it kind of didn't give you enough time to flesh out the characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we do our reviews in 4 different sections. We have Stream It, DVD, Blu-ray, and Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where you at?
I really liked it. I don't know what you would get Blu-ray. I mean, I would do, if we box set, when you get like Train to Busan and like his other movies, like the whole director box set. I think that would be a cool collection.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of stuff that's got replay value. I would definitely watch this again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I gotta go Blu-ray.
Yeah. Yeah. I would probably go DVD, just because I feel like it's an incomplete movie. That like, I think like it's better than stream, because I love sci-fi stuff regardless, and I think like it's well acted, and the premise is there, like the fight scene, the action is there, like it hooks you at the first portion of the movie. So I think that it has like all the right elements. It just like it needed to be filled out for me, and so I think
Understandable.
That's probably why I'd go DVD. But thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all of our links down below, where we have all our social medias.
Yeah, we got our Twitter X, Facebook, Threads,
TikTok,
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're on everything.
and we try.
Yeah. Pick something and follow us, and send us a message. Just say hi.
Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check it out, who does our theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music Podcast 3, and the Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.